Alright, let me ask you a weird question. Have you ever seen a woman go crazy over a guy who didn't even try? Like, he didn't show off, didn't brag, didn't try to be funny, didn't even look like he cared whether she liked him or not. And somehow, boom, she's completely into him. Meanwhile, there's another dude who's texting her "Good morning, Queen" every day, sending flowers, writing poems, offering his kidneys. And he's in the friend zone so deep, he's practically a cousin now. What's going on? Well, my friend, there's a secret. And only about 2% of men know it. It's not about money, not looks, not even charm. It's about mindset. And believe it or not, it has everything to do with Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that teaches you how to stay calm, strong, and grounded no matter what's happening around you. Today, I'm going to show you 5 things women absolutely love, but only a tiny percentage of men do. If you master these, you're not just going to stand out, you're going to become unforgettable. Let's dive in. 1. Emotional control, aka not freaking out over everything. Let's start with the big one. Picture this. You're dating someone, and one day she takes a bit longer to reply to your text. Most guys start panicking. Double text overthink spiral into "she hates me" territory. But the 2%, they're chill. Not because they don't care, but because they don't let anything outside their control mess with their peace. That's pure Stoicism, baby. The ancient Stoic Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Women love a man who can stay calm under pressure. Why? Because the world is chaotic enough? A man who can stay centered, who doesn't lose his cool over small stuff, he becomes a rock. And rocks are attractive. It's like, would you rather be with a guy who's a weather app, constantly changing, or a thermostat, sets the tone? Be the thermostat. 2. Purpose over approval, aka not living for likes. Here's a fun fact. Confidence is sexy. But authenticity, that's magnetic. Most guys are constantly performing, posting thirst traps, saying what they think women want to hear, pretending to like things they don't care about just to fit in. But the 2%, they don't chase validation, they chase their purpose. Imagine a guy who's working on something bigger than himself. He's writing a book, building a business, training for a marathon, not to impress anyone, but because it lights him up inside. That kind of man has a gravitational pull. Stoics believed in living according to nature, your nature, meaning know who you are and live in line with that. Don't twist yourself into a pretzel trying to please everyone. When a man isn't trying to get attention, but instead is focused on building something meaningful, women notice. And here's the kicker. They start wanting his attention. Why? Because it's rare. You know how everyone wants a limited edition sneaker? That's what purposeful men are like. Limited edition, focused, rare. 3. The power of silence, aka shut up and listen. Ever been on a date where the guy just won't stop talking? He's listing his job titles, his gym routine, the time he almost started a business, how he almost met Elon Musk once. Yeah, no thanks. But the 2%, they know the power of silence. Not in a creepy, awkward, staring into your soul kind of way, but in a calm, grounded, I'm present and actually listening to you kind of way. Stoics were big on listening more than talking. Epictetus, another ancient Stoic, said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." When a woman speaks and a man really listens, not just waiting for his turn to talk, but actually hearing her, she feels seen, heard, valued. You don't have to fix her problems. You don't have to drop a quote from a podcast. Just be there. Because in a world full of noise, presence is power. 4. Boundaries without drama, aka saying no like a boss. Here's something wild. A lot of guys think saying yes to everything makes them nice. Spoiler alert, it makes them a doormat. Women don't want a guy who agrees with everything she says just to keep the peace. They want a man with a spine, a man who has standards, who can say no without being a jerk about it. That's what Stoicism teaches. inner strength, not lashing out, not people-pleasing, just calmly stating your truth. Example, she says, "Let's go to this club tonight." You say, "Honestly, I'm not into clubs, but I'd love to do something together tomorrow if you're free." Boom. Respectful, clear, drama-free. Boundaries aren't walls, they're doors. And women love a man who knows how to keep his door secure. Because if you can't say no to her, you probably can't say no to anything. Peer pressure, bad habits, distractions, and that's not attractive. That's unstable. The 2%, they're solid. 5. Living in the moment, aka actually enjoying life. Let's be honest. Most of us are mentally elsewhere all the time. We're on a date, but thinking about work. At dinner, but scrolling Instagram. Walking outside, but worrying about next week. The 2%, they're here. Women love men who are present, who savor the moment, who notice the little things, how the light hits her face, the taste of the coffee, the sound of laughter. Stoics practiced this daily. They reminded themselves that life is short, that this moment, right now, is all we ever really have. There's something incredibly attractive about a man who knows how to enjoy the moment without rushing to the next thing. Because when you're fully here, people feel it. And women, they don't just feel it, they remember it. It's like dating a vacation. Peaceful, refreshing, hard to forget. They don't make her the center of their universe. Okay, this one's spicy, but let's go there. You ever meet a guy who gets into a relationship and suddenly his whole personality is just her? He stops seeing his friends, stops working on his goals, wakes up thinking about her, sleeps thinking about her, probably dreams about her too. It sounds romantic in movies. In real life, it's a little much. The 2% don't do that. They love, sure, they care, but they never forget who they are. Their world doesn't shrink down to one person. That's what makes them attractive in the first place. They're like planets with their own gravity. They orbit the sun, not one person. Stoicism teaches this balance, being loving but not obsessed, caring deeply but not losing yourself. And ironically, that's what makes women feel safe, seen, free, because when you're grounded in yourself, you don't need someone. You choose them. And that choice, it's powerful. So, let's wrap this up. Here's what we covered. Emotional control, sexy. Purpose over approval, magnetic, listening. Underrated superpower, boundaries, respect, presence, everything. And guess what? You don't need to become a monk. You don't need a beard like Marcus Aurelius or a toga like Seneca. You just need to remember who you are. Stop chasing, start choosing. Because when you become that calm, grounded, purposeful man, life doesn't just get better. It gets easier. People respect you more. Women notice you more. And most importantly, you like yourself more. And the best part, you don't have to be born with this. You can learn it. That's the beauty of Stoicism. It's not about being perfect, it's about practicing. So go out there. Be the 2%. The world needs more of them. And hey, so do the women. Want to become more stoic in everyday life? Stick around, we've got more coming. But first, maybe go take a walk without your phone. You'll be surprised what you notice. Catch you in the next one. Stay calm, stay sharp, and stay stoic. Peace.